Hey, what is up? Let me get Corona on here. Dun, 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 dun. So, today's topic is laughter is the best medicine. Oh, we got Yannick all the way from Germany. We got Justin. So you don't believe laughter is the best medicine? Man. There we go.
Did you say
What is
laughter
up?
is the best medicine or is not?
It is the best medicine. What I
Yes.
say? I say the opposite. So we're looking for a topic, and this morning I was driving this old dude, and he said that his doctor told him that if he works out 1 hour a day, he doesn't have to take all his medication. So he
All of his
said
medication?
so he doesn't have to take any medication, and he's taking a Zumba class, and this guy's like, I laugh the whole time during the Zumba class. He just laughs the whole time. And that's when I was like, laughter's the best medicine. And just like thinking about this old dude, and I don't think he was as old as he was an old dude, but I don't think he was an old dude. You know, some like when I remember the 65-year-olds of freaking yesteryear were totally different than the 65 years. But he was one of those 65-year-olds that was fucking like a 65-year-old from 1950s. He fucking like got excited every month when he fucking sees the AARP. Like this is the type of thing. But he
That
was so
retirement paperwork and shit.
he was so excited about the Zumba class, so excited, and I'm just like thinking, I was like,
Yo,
the
Steve,
instructor.
have you ever laughed so hard that like you legitimately feel that you did a ton of ab workouts?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's like the best feeling.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the best feeling, but I know what you're saying.
I mean,
Um,
there's laughter to the point where it's painful, right? But there's
yeah.
also laughter to the point where it's like pleasing, kind of like it hurts your stomach, so you feel like you've been laughing for such a long time, but also like you feel this relief, like all this tension just automatically just leaves your body.
Have you ever done laughter yoga?
No.
I have, but I haven't done it in a while. But
Is it guided or?
yeah, it's guided. They have like laughter yoga people, and
Ah.
they like guide it through, and it's a lot of exaggerated stuff, but it gets you feeling good.
I've requested and wanted for my doctors to use the laughing gas to do certain like operations on me, and every time I've requested it, it doesn't happen, and I wonder why. Like, because we talk about how laughter is the best medicine, right? And a lot of the times, if you're feeling like you're just giggling away, you're more focused on that feeling than you are on the actual pain. So
They,
I wonder why they don't make it more accessible in Western medicine and stuff.
Yannick said he laughed until he almost died because he couldn't breathe, but it was still funny. Were you high too?
That's the question.
So I thought, because
He said
I'm
no.
I'm not I'm not in the 100% laughing mood right now, so I thought I would
How
invite
did I
Mickey.
know you were going to pull him out? No pun
Oh,
intended.
because you're so smart, Corona. We're all so lucky to be gifted to have you join us so you can bring everything full circle because the rest of us aren't so smart. Mickey, don't talk to Corona like that. Sorry about that, Corona. Mickey's kind of being a little jerk.
Mickey needs to help us manifest Jerome into this conversation.
Oh, Justin, you called me a rat. Go fuck yourself. I'm kind of half blackface. What are you gonna say about that, Justin? Mickey, I mean, it's not 1950s anymore. You can't be making jokes like that. And why are you half blackface?
Sprinkle of
So
privilege on
funny
his
story.
face.
So funny story. One of my friends gave me two masks, and one was a white mask with a joint, and one was a black mask with a joint. And I gave one to my Italian friend Amanda, so her skin's light skin, and she had it in her car, and she used the vacuum cleaner and messed it up, the mask. So I ended up having to give her another mask that was the darker one, and she's wearing it around in OB. She's like, and then all of a sudden, one of the bouncers that was at a club that was her friend that was black was like, "What are you doing? You're fucking half blackface." And she and I laughed. Well, she didn't laugh as much as I laughed because I'll pretty much laugh at anything. Like I've got a racist sense of humor. Like I laugh at anything, but I don't have a racist bone in my body, but I have a racist sense of humor for sure. I'm not afraid of a racist joke.
You know,
I don't.
that's interesting you go there. Like, why is it that a lot of times we're so comfortable with making jokes? Is it because we're like the most knowledgeable on our own kind of history, ethnicity, background, maybe even like social status, like as far as social economics go, right? And it's harder for us, or at least we get more criticism when we're trying to make fun of other races, you know, etc.
Yeah, this is a hard one for me because I can see that they're just jokes a lot of times, and they say you can't measure intent, but I believe you can measure intent. Um, Sometimes you can't measure it before you say it. I remember I made a joke with the passenger, and I'll have Mickey do it because just in case, like in the future, it gets worse.
You need to manifest your inner Kanye for this conversation. I'm sorry.
What was that?
I said you have to manifest your inner Kanye for this
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. So I was like, I wonder when they start doing the artificial intelligent drives, will they have an Asian mode? And then this
Mickey,
passenger
you're
goes,
about to be canceled. Mickey. Wait, was the
this
car made in China?
passenger goes, she goes, yeah, I hate Asians too. And I'm like thinking to myself, what? Where the fuck did that go to? Like this was like a bad joke, like that I would use in front of Asians too. Like just as I set the right one, or I'd ask, hey, is this joke this fine? And then her husband goes, oh yeah, she works in retail. That was his way of justifying that joke was okay,
Oh
which I
my
think made
gosh.
it much worse. And I don't even know why. Like that made it worse. That would just be like saying you hate black people because a lot of restaurants say that black people don't tip well. I know I tip well. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but I would guess there's a certain extent. But the reason why is because not a lot of black people work in restaurants. And I know I tip well because I have a lot of friends that work in restaurants. That's why I tip well.
Mm.
So you gotta notice why certain things come about. And also that's not a reason to hate at all. I mean, so when is a joke just a joke because it's funny, it's stereotypical? I like to be able to, like, mainly I want somebody from that race to be there, and I want it to be an even kill that we can make jokes back and forth for that to be okay.
Yeah, this cancel culture can easily get out of hand, right? I mean, how many times recently? I feel like more recently we've started to have more of that cancel culture for comedians specifically. I mean, I remember that Dave Chappelle happening, and you know, all these people talking about like we're not going to support him anymore type of thing, and then boom, here he is on Netflix making off the wall kind of jokes, and some people laugh and some people just, you know, they're like they can't even take it.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic of what people are able to get it. Certain people are able to get away with, and certain people are not able to get away with. But I know how, and I in our grieving special, I had talked about this of the first 48 hours after my dad died, I was like couldn't talk about him dying. I even had to practice to myself, like saying my dad died to that level. And then after 48 hours, the thing that made the shift was me going, what was my legacy from my father? My legacy was helping out other people, giving back. And then my other legacy was the timing, where we kind of had different sense of humors, but we kind of had the same dry sense of humor. And when I started making jokes and finding laughter and everything, that's when the grieving like really started. So I see the power in that. And I also see when, and this is my interpretation, a lot of people have this interpretation, that if people don't joke about you, then you're not part of a class. So it's like, it's one of those things that, no, you're welcome to the club. You get joked upon. I mean, I went to Catholic school, and I was the one black dude in my class. I had to be on my toes, like big time. and it sucked sometimes. But also, I'm not as sensitive about a lot of things.
Yeah. It all comes down to privilege sometimes, right? Like, who's gonna be the bigger bully? Who's gonna be the one who's doing the bullying, right? Because even for females specifically, if we're talking about like cisgender, you know, females, we have something that's called like pretty privilege, right? Where if you look beautiful, chances are you're not going to be picked on. Or, I mean, maybe you are, but not to an extent where you feel like your image is really being criticized, right? It comes down to probably other things, but it's interesting.
I like beautiful women. I don't think they should be picked on. That's the class that I like to protect. Mickey, you're really gonna get canceled. You cannot talk like that. Mickey just went to try to fist bump me.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
don't be on your stuff. Don't be getting on your stuff. So Justin called Mickey a perv.
I can't see any of the comments. That's interesting. Mickey.
Hold that joke in, Mickey. Oh, women can read? In my day, women couldn't read. Is that because you can't read?
See, that's where a lot of the historical knowledge comes into place, Mickey. I thought you were around in those black and white movies. What's up?
Oh, can you say that? Can you say black and white? Corona, you're gonna get canceled too.
It's good, Mickey.
So, comments below. Was there ever a time in your life when you were just like going through shit that just didn't seem like, it just like seemed like it was so totally overwhelming, and you just laughed? Who thinks farts are funny?
Jelani does.
Little kids think farts are like real. I just put Mickey in front of me for when I'm talking. You're so stupid, Jedi Steve. Okay, this is me. Now this is you.
Jelani announces when he farts every time. Never fails.
That was me.
That shit makes me laugh.
Yeah, farts are an interesting thing.
Even the word flatulence.
I have thought they were funny at times, but for the most part, the stink's not worth the joke. I mean, you could think of like the thing. I don't know if anybody likes farts. I mean, some people like the smell of their own farts.
I mean, people who fart like their own farts because there's something about the relief, letting it out.
But also, like, I'm trying to make a correlation between racist jokes and farts. So farts are like very, I mean, just think about it. There's like air that was just like in somebody's ass, and then all of a sudden it comes out into the real world. That's a nasty thing. It's like that's a racist joke, totally. There's something that was like stuck in your ass or your head that all of a sudden you don't really want it to come out, but it like sneaks out. Like, racist jokes are just like farts. Somebody said bad digestion. Yes, racist jokes are bad digestion too.
Yeah, just make sure the shit stays in there and doesn't seep out. The juicy farts.
Have you ever had like a friend that's just like racist about everything, and they just hate everything, so it gets to a point that it's just funny? I had this guy that was a passenger, and he sat in the front seat, and this guy wasn't racist, but this guy would have been a perfect place to train like all the wrong shit you say. Like when you like come across a black dude. This guy was just like, he was just naming every black person that he liked. Like he couldn't stop. And I do that around gay people. I overcompensate around gay people, and sometimes I do it around Asians. So before, I used to hate when people did that, and then I started to notice that I did it, so I gave those people a pass. And I was even saying to the people with them, I was like, oh yeah, this is like a textbook of all the wrong things you're supposed to say when you meet a black person. And they're like in the back. They weren't laughing. They were kind of like a little awkward about it, but I had to be honest. like this, but I thought it was funny. One time I had a lady that was from Ocean Beach. Ocean Beach is the area in San Diego. And it's a real hippie area. And there's an old lady that got on my lift, and she's like, oh, I've lived in OB for a long time. I know everything about OB. And I was like, well, tell me something not many people know. She goes, OB used to be run by Hell's Angels, like from the biker gangs. And they were she's like, I was a young pregnant woman. They were so nice to me, and da 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 da. And I was like, I've been hearing like nice things about Hell's Angels, but never till just like recently. I was supposed to stay away from them. She goes, she goes, yeah, you only stay away from them if you're black. And I'm in the front. I'm dying laughing because she was a cute little old hippie lady. like I'm not gonna get mad at her. Like I'm just not gonna get mad at her.
Okay.
But also I'm like making fun of the situation in my head, voicefully laughing out. I don't know if she heard me, but and she kind of, it was kind of got like raw, like people like during her lifetimes, like people that black people were living in OB, they're burning their houses down and everything. But I was so focused on like what she had said right there that I still thought it was funny.
Jesus.
But I always felt something. I always felt that underlying thing in OB. I always felt like, oh, we're all about peace and love, and if you're not about peace and love, then we want to kill you. Like I always felt that hypocrisy that was going on there. And I mean, that's kind of one of the draws to OB too. I mean, they're all about peace and stuff. If you're not a local and you go try to surf there, people are like very, very violent, like real quick and everything like that. So I always thought of that as like very funny.
I thought Santee has historically been the bad part of SD.
Yeah. I had an experience in Santee when I was like fresh out of school. I already had a job, but I was working something else, another job, and I was doing surveys on eggs at a place out in Santee, and the whole day I was there. I mean, I've heard stuff. The whole day I was there, not one person was rude to me, and we're talking to like I'm like going up to people, hey, do you want to do a survey by legs? It would be like a biker dude, like all tatted up. I approach him in the parking lot where we've all been like I'm usually the best about not doing something like that, but I've been times when I'm rushing and everything and I don't want to do an egg survey. Like I've been that guy. And guy, biker, go up to him, hey, do you want to do a survey? And he goes, sure, like lights up, totally smiling. And it was like that the whole day. And before that, I had a number that, and not a racist number, but I forgot what my number was before. It was like 95% of the people are good, 5% are bad. And on that day I shifted it to 1%.
Interesting.
Because I was like this is an area that they could have easily not been racist, but saying, hey, I don't want to do a survey from it in that claim. They would have had the right, whether they were racist or not, to not do that. But the everybody was very nice. And not you'll only get a small percent that maybe their parents were racist that will like overcompensate for certain things. So I know we're talking about racism a lot, but that's something that I still find laughter in, and that's like the connection of that.
Is it because you're matching that negative energy with the laughter part?
Yeah, I just don't want to give any energy to it. I mean, because like I'm not absent to like want to put my hands on somebody because they're racist, but they're gonna have to be moving towards putting their hands on me for me to defend myself. I'm not gonna proactively. I just don't want to get involved in that. I had a situation. I'm going racist again. I had a situation where after I was leaving a club, somebody said some racist stuff to me, and I blocked him out immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and the friend that was with me, who's also African American, the friend that was with me kept on listening to him. And when I found out when the guy said he had a knife, because I blocked him out, but my friend kept on saying, "Oh, he just said the N word. He just said this," and then everything. And then when he said he had a knife, he was like 100 feet away, and I just flipped out because I could tell he was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Steve, I could tell he was lying from 100 feet away, and I went through him, went through all his friends, went through some bouncer, and then he was 25 and I was probably like 46, 47 at the time, and I just went into the street and went over one of his friends and slapped him to the ground with one open hand at that point. And the reason why I was going back to laughter is we called a Uber right after that, and I'm making jokes about it.
Mm.
And it was a pool, and I'm even flirting with this woman in the car, not the passenger, the other one, that kind of, she felt bad about what happened. Like I was like, okay, but I did feel bad the next day that I got to the point that I got sucked in. But a lot of it was the friend that's not friends with me anymore. A lot of it was him even being a negative person all night, complaining about stuff that even helped me attract that situation, because I'm rarely even attracting a situation like that. Because my vibe ain't attracted situations like that. And no shaming people that do attract situations like that, but I really take care of my vibe. And maybe it's just like, I mean, we talked about a couple times when certain things are happening, and I just don't let it get to the best of me, because laughter's so much important to me. And I think it is a balance and everything. And I'm not absent. I see shit going on in the world and see other stuff, and I put it in front of me and pay attention to it. I but
It's
laughter's, go ahead.
it's important for us to remember that even in the most painful moments, we could find some type of joy, right? I think that's one of the highlights here. Um, Especially these days, right, where we have so many things that are bleak, and so many moods are so down with the winter, and rainy days, lack of sunshine, vitamin D, all of those things. And then this universe sometimes likes to throw shit at us, and it's like, what are we gonna do with that energy? Are we going to hyper focus on how dark that energy is and how much it brings us down, or are we gonna try to find some type of joy in the
Yes, we
situation?
are gonna focus on that. Good point. Yeah, we should focus on that.
Gotta focus on the light, right, Jay? No, no bad words.
Hey Jay, why don't you go ahead and share some bad words with us?
Can you say a bad word? What did you say? Say it louder so I can hear you. Come here. What did you say? You're what? One more time. Say it in my ear. Motherfucker.
Jay, they should be paying you to do that on this.
Is that Mickey Mouse?
That's Mickey Mouse. He's talking to you.
Huh?
He's talking.
Hello, how are you doing?
Say a bad word to Mickey Mouse. Louder. I can't hear you. Motherfucker. Mommy didn't teach him that one.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I believe that. You got a mouth like a trucker.
Trucker mouth.
Yeah, call mommy trucker mouth.
No, not that mouth.
I'm trying to think of a situation that I had. Oh, So this lady, I picked up this one younger lady. So we'll say younger lady. Picked up this younger lady that worked in like a smoothie shop, and she was telling me about that she had a bad day because this lady had come into the place. An older lady had come into the place, and she took her smoothie out to her car. Then she spilled it in her car, and then the lady's coming in. Do you put lids on the car? Do you put lids on the smoothies? And there was a lid on the smoothie, and this lady had spilled. And she comes in. She just has a horrible attitude about it. And I went to I said to the passenger, I was like, she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that. Most likely you guys would have given her another one. It's like, oh yeah, we totally would give her another one, but she wanted more because we messed up her car. And she just didn't take total responsibility for it. Then by ride, we kind of had talked. We kind of talked about these kids today. You give them an inch, they take a whole yard. In my day, little children were seen and not heard. Spoil the rod, spoil the child. Just joking. So we talked about how this lady that spilled this thing in her car, she probably had some stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the ride, the passenger, because I said when my dad died, I was like consciously trying to avoid situations like that.
It's always a small one.
Okay, figure it out. Let me see. Keep going.
Small one.
What's that, Justin? You think Goofy's doper? Goofy, he's stupid.
So cool. Chicken.
Why would somebody's parents name him Goofy? That's Goofy.
Go over there.
So it turns out that this young lady, her dad was dying of cancer.
Wow.
The one that worked in the store. Her dad was dying of cancer. And she said that her dad that's dying of cancer was thinking that this is the most joyful time of his life. The happiest time of his life. Stage 4 cancer.
Oh my gosh.
I would, and I said to her, I was like, no way that lady's going through as much as your dad is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd let alone the fact of how much of the daughter's going through. And this lady spills a drink in her car, doesn't take responsibility. I don't want to sound like the old dude in the room, but I think everybody isn't taking more responsibility for their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not just young people. Like everybody's not taking responsibility for their own shit. And just being able to push that stuff on there. My mom, she's not as bad as that lady, but I check my mom like when we go into places. And my mom, I didn't think it was funny, but like after my dad died, my mom bought some knives and she cut herself like twice, and then she was blaming the knives. And I was like, Mom, like, don't blame the knives. Like, slow down. Like, slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Don't blame the knives. That's a dangerous proposition for you to blame the knives instead of like slowing down and make sure you don't cut yourself. Like you cut yourself once, but when you start to cut yourself twice.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's easy to just remove the blame and throw it on something else. Because it's like energy you don't even want to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to deal with that shit, whether you like it or not. And how are you gonna deal with it? You know, are you gonna fucking sit there and mope about it? And what I've noticed, at least in life itself, and when I make mistakes, and there's such in my eyes.
Wait a second. Let me make sure that I'm listening. This sounds like it's about to be really good.
is, stop adding more negative shit to it. Because then it's just going to drag you down and make it even fucking darker. Sometimes you just got to open up and reach out to the right people that are going to be like, hey, yeah, that shit fucking happened. Guess what? It happened. You acknowledge it. You put a little bit of laughter up in this situation and you try to make it better or see it in a better way, right? Maybe think of other occurrences that match or similar to yours and reach to the right people.
I'm a snake.
Okay, snake.
I'm a snake.
Pull one of your snake hairs. Show us how long the snake hair is. Wow, look at that. Yes, it is.
It's funny that we're doing a podcast on like how laughter is the best medicine, and I imagine like trying to explain this to a kid. Yeah, we're doing a podcast on why laughing and being joyous is funny. The kid's just like, okay, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah,
like, I don't
that's
need
exactly
to talk
what
about
Jay's been doing this whole time.
Yeah. like even the 15 minutes a day dancing, I'm scheduling it, and it's just like, okay, I'm conscious that I'm not perfect for the fact that I would have to schedule dancing 15 minutes a day.
You just gotta get up and
like
go and do
perfect.
it. And
Perfect
you know
in that
what?
space.
I challenge you if you haven't done this yet, but like in a moment where you're feeling like your energy is going down or going dark, try it and see what the difference is in how it feels when you're dancing out of joy or versus when you're dancing out of like pain or misery or some other dark feeling.
I could go as far as forced, unforced. I haven't been in a place that I've
Come closer, because it's gonna fall out. Come on, there.
I haven't been in a place that it's just forced or unforced. Not necessarily in a dark. I mean, not wanting to do it. More so easy. I know there's 2 days in there that I was like really feeling resistant to doing it. But once I like got out of my car and did it, like one day I was in my car like an hour, like took me out to get it. Now it's like I get out of it like right as soon as I park, I get out right away. But I was in my car one day for like an hour. What about us, Carmen? You say get it, girl. What about us? You don't like Mickey Mouse? Carmen, do you think Corona's funny?
Oh, I'd be making a fool out of myself all the time.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
I think it's a gift and a curse sometimes to be able to make people laugh. Because then people don't take you fucking serious at some point.
Yeah. I've had sometimes. There's certain people I can't hang around, and I know that when I meet them because all of a sudden my jokes just go dark. Because that's just their sense of humor, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna be just like feeling like horrible after hanging out with this person because I'll just be saying just a bunch of dark shit just to make them laugh.
That balance.
Cool. Anything else?
This is a good one.
You say that every week.
Every week we have a different good topic. What can I say?
This one. What this one? What this one?
It's a colorful.
Bye, Jay.
Say bye, Mickey.
Bye.
Mickey.
Say I love you, Mickey.
I love you, Mickey.
Now fuck you.
Don't listen to the trucker mouth.
He said don't listen to the trucker mouth.
Trucker mouth.
Peace.
Peter.